I'm recording. John, you got it?
Yes.
You got
it?
I
got it.
All right.
Unfortunately, I got it.
Okay. Somebody edit this out.
Very good,
That's
then.
you.
All right.
Somebody?
Yeah. I'm going to press. You know, I'm just going to start because we have so much to talk about on this episode today. I'm just going to press the song and we're just going to get into it because it's a really big episode of Panel Pals. Is that
Very
okay?
good.
So I'm going to press the song,
hefty,
then I introduce you guys, and then, yeah, here we go.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks for running it down for me, Alex.
And I'm going to fuck it up.
All right.
Marvel, DC, comic book, movies, TV shows. We watch them all. Marvel,
Hawkeye.
DC, Hawkeye, Spiderman, Far From Home, No Way Home. We watch the TV shows and movies.
Does it sound off to y'all? Like
It's a little,
DC.
No.
it's a little off. It was a little off. I cut it off. Hey,
It sounded good to me.
what is up, everybody? Welcome to Panel Pals number, whatever number's on the title card. Hey!
13.
Wrong button. Oh, that's not. There you go.
That's the one.
It. Hey!
There you go, Alex.
We have a fat ass stacked show today. Very spoiler free. This episode was left out overnight on the counter, so it is spoiled. You've been warned.
How is it spoiler free and then it was left out on the counter and
Did I say
spoiled?
spoiler free or did I say spoiler
did.
full?
You said spoiler free.
My B is full of spoilers. We're going to talk
thank
about
you.
it.
Stinky.
What? John, you have something to say?
You should back up off your mic.
No.
You sound ears not
You sound
consensual
Mimi.
sex.
You sound Mimi.
I have a condenser on it, so it doesn't sound like that to them. Your
Okay.
ears,
Oh.
on the other hand, I
That's
don't give a
Oh,
damn
so I
about.
gotta do. All right.
I'm okay with that, baby.
I am your host, Alex, and I'm here with my co-host, John, who's complainer over here. I'm here with my other co-host, Rafa, who's over here, and Hector, the boy wonder. Hey!
I'm the complainer.
Yeah, you're the complainer today.
I like that.
We have a stack show for you guys today. We're going to talk about the Hawkeye episode 5, the penultimate episode. We're going to talk about that a little bit. And then, of course, we're going to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home, the biggest movie released since fucking Endgame. We're going to talk about that. And, of course, I said we're going to spoil it. If you haven't seen it, don't watch it and come back.
Don't watch it.
Yeah, don't watch this episode.
Don't. Oh.
And then go watch the movie
Don't watch
go
the
watch it.
movie.
and come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you don't care, listen, because we're going to talk about a bunch of shit. But before we do all that, real quickie news. You guys remember a comic book movie that was based off of a comic book that came out in like 2010? And then there was a
Spider-Man,
not
baby.
so successful sequel that came out a couple years after that. It was called
Spider-Man.
it was called Kickass.
Ooh,
You guys remember Kickass?
I do.
I love Kickass.
You guys remember when Jim Carrey played a phenomenal role and then some school or something got shot up and then he says, "Hey, I don't like guns anymore," and he tanked the promotion of that movie? Do you remember that?
I remember
I
watching this
do
one called
remember that.
Kiss
I do remember
Ass. They're kissing each other's butts.
That's a different website.
Oh.
Yeah, Rafa. No, this is the Matthew
wrong
Vaughn,
one.
Matt Vaughn film. But anyway, Kick-Ass is getting rebooted. Hey,
Thank God.
I'm pretty excited for that.
yeah,
I don't care.
hyped. I'm hyped for it. Oh, John, I have you low. Let me raise you up, baby. There you go.
Yeah, raise
Yeah.
me up,
There
guys.
you go.
I
think
don't think I really care. I feel like that's kind of they're just trying to capitalize on the video games. You know what I'm saying?
What's a comic?
Why? How are they capitalizing on the
sorry,
video
sorry,
games?
comics. Sorry, comics. But yeah,
So,
I mean,
comic culture right now.
well, Kick-Ass is a comic. It's been around for over a decade now.
Yeah, but they're trying to compete with like MCU and shit.
But didn't the comic come out at the same time as the movie was?
That was
put out?
Kick-Ass 2.
Yes.
No?
No, wasn't the original run of Kick-Ass also?
It came. They were produced around the same time, but the comics it was different from the movie.
No, I
Yeah.
know it was like it's his own story, but like, I'm pretty sure they're coming around the same time.
Yes, they did.
I only remember Kick-Ass 2 coming out like around the same time as the second Kick-Ass 2 comic. That's the only thing I remember.
But anyway,
remember
I
that.
like those movies because they were
I like them too.
They were ultra violent. Like they're in the same realm. This one's a little more. If you've seen the Matthew Vaughn films, I think that's his name. like Kingsman and those kind of films. They're more stylized and more
Yeah.
flashy, but they're in the same vein as like Super, what's
Yep.
his name, Dwight's superhero movie, where it's like
Rainn Wilson.
Yeah, Rainn
He's,
Wilson.
which was directed by, of course, the legendary James Gunn.
That's James Gunn.
Hey,
That's James Gunn.
shout out
movie.
to James Gunn. But yeah, so it's a more of a pseudo realistic, gritty, violent take on superhero genres, more over the top. Which Super technically isn't maybe over the top, but that's more
Super-
realistic.
Super is more like someone who's delusional and runs around pretending to be a superhero.
But it's I guess they're in the same like neighborhood ish.
Yeah.
Like once you see both of them, you'll be like, okay, I see how they're related. They're very different films, but for the reboot, they're gonna do, according to the article, they're gonna do something very different, very out there. He feels like they're gonna push rated R once again. Further, which is why I'm excited for it, because Kickass, the comics, are some of the most violent, most out there, outlandish comics there are. And I mean, the character Hit Girl just tells you everything you need to know. She was an 11-year-old assassin, murdering psychopath. Like it's such a crazy comic book. But I'm
The
excited
movie
for
itself
reboot.
was also super violent. Like,
Yeah.
I remember watching that. Was it 20? It was 2010. Like that was like some of the crazy shit at the time.
Yeah.
So like, imagine what they do now with like just everything just technology and props and everything just leagues ahead of where we were like 10 years ago.
It's gonna look the same. All those movies look the same.
I don't think so.
I wonder why they're gonna reboot it. I know after Kick-Ass 2. Well, no, you did say it. It tanked because of Jim Carrey. Actually.
Yeah, he tanked that shit, which is crazy because he was such a perfect like casting for, I think, what's his name, Stars and Stripes. I forgot his name, but
I don't think he was a perfect casting for Stars and Stripes.
Bro, every time Jim Carrey comes out in a movie, he's not the perfect casting to you until you see the movie, and then he's like, "Oh, he was so great."
I think that has like never happened. I think that's like never
Sonic the
happened.
Hedgehog, Dumb and Dumber 2. You said he wasn't perfect for his own role.
When the hell did I say that?
Mr. Mary
When the hell
Poppins
did I say
Penguins.
that?
You said that penguin movie. You
When
said
did
it
I
should
say-
have been him.
Yeah.
Bruce Almighty. You said he didn't look like Morgan Freeman. I got John. It's fine.
He did,
You're right. Just
he did look like Morgan Freeman.
it's
Yeah.
fine, John. It's fine. But
You said he doesn't look like Dr. Eggman. I remember you saying that.
yeah.
Well, he doesn't. I stand by that. He still does it.
I don't know. Have you seen the trailer
The
for
new
Sonic
trailer,
2?
the new trailer he does, but even
And-
then, it's still like
And you said that Jim Carrey has nothing to do with the Grinch, which is foul.
Which is blasphemies.
when did I say Jim Carrey has nothing to do with the Grinch?
I remember that.
Like
I remember
yeah,
that. Yeah, he said he don't look like the Grinch. But anyway, yeah, that's happening.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
some
some
quickie
fuckery.
news. Now let's get into the real meat and potatoes. Well, this is like the entree at this point. I mean the appetizer.
appetizer.
Yeah, the
Appetizer. It's like soup.
Let's talk about Hawkeye, which I
You
will
and
say
soup.
soup is good.
Soup is good.
Hawkeye was the biggest news this week. Something that happened that
Yeah.
episode was the biggest news, and then was quickly overshadowed by something even bigger. But we'll talk about it.
No, they knew what they were doing.
That's,
This episode, like, this episode was to push the story forward of Hawkeye for the next episode, but also a fucking layup to Marvel. They laid up themselves for the dunk.
Yeah.
Is what they did.
They're taking victory laps right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, they really are.
like they're
DC
literally like shitting on them. They're doing combos I've never seen before.
DC is punching the air right now. But let's talk about Hawkeye episode 5, the penultimate episode to Hawkeye. There's only 6 episodes, so we have one left. I'll go first. Let me see. Let me try to let me try to move Spider-Man out the forefront of my brain and bring Hawkeye back, because that felt like a lifetime ago. So Hawkeye episode 5.
Yeah.
What happened in this episode? Hold on.
So
Okay.
I got it. Well, Rafa, do you want to explain it?
It's up to you. All right, whatever. I'll just go. So it's Christmas time. Hawkeye is still stuck in New York trying to save Kate, right? And
Yes.
the whole thing's going on with Hawkeye's like, hey man, stay hired. Oh no, it starts off with what's her name? Black Widow, the
Yelena.
sister. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yelena
Right?
Romanoff.
And you get to see like what she's been up to in the past 5 years. She disappeared with the blip and then came back.
I remember.
Yeah, because before the blip, she was trying to correct the Black Widow project, pretty much, like to save the other Black Widows, like to so they won't be like I don't know what that thing is, but like secret murder people, whatever. Like so then she was running around trying to fix him. The blip happened. She came back. Then she finds out that Natasha's dead, and she's like, "Well, time to go kill whoever killed Natasha. Here we go, big moves." So present day, Hawkeye's like, "Hey, Kate, you can't hang out with me no more. There's a Black Widow after me. Big trouble. Big stuff going down. Get the hell out of here." Then Kate's all sad and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
And then what's his name gets arrested, the boyfriend of the mom.
Mustachio
Right.
Jones.
Jack
Yes,
Jack, right?
Jack Duquesne.
Yes, because he's funding the tracksuit mafia, and he's all he's all being like witty and charming and shit as he's getting arrested. And so then Kate's like, "Hey, I'm not taking this bullshit." No. Then Kate has a talk with the sister, and the sister ruins a good batch of macaroni by pouring a bunch of hot sauce in it. I remember
Ruins.
that. Yes. She put a bunch of hot sauce in that
sounded
macaroni.
interesting.
She made buffalo mac and cheese, and it sounded great. What are you talking about?
No,
Yeah,
first
that
of all, she
sounded
did it.
She
She
really
put-
did. That shit
she
did sound
put-
fire.
Whatever the fuck she put in it, that's not buffalo sauce.
It's
That's-
hot
she
sauce.
put-
No, but she's
She
saying
put hot
it's
sauce in it.
spicy mac and cheese, so
Yeah.
it's buffalo.
Sounds great.
No, she
It's
ruined
not
that. She
necessarily
ruined it.
buffalo mac and cheese. It's just hot
Anyways,
sauce on mac and cheese.
It's
Anyways.
still good. All right,
It's
I
picante.
tasted it. It's pretty good.
You tasted it?
Yeah, I licked the TV.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Never
pretty
mind.
good.
He said,
Yeah, but
good.
she's like, "Hey, I'm here to kill Hawkeye. Where you at?" And like, don't play with me, Kate Bishop. I will fuck you up, and I know where your family's at.
Yeah, Kate Bishop.
Yeah, Kate
Mhm.
Bishop.
and she kept saying
Um,
Kate Bishop.
Yeah, over and over again.
Yeah, Kate Bishop.
And
It
then
was what is it? What do they call it? Like a intimidation tactic?
mhm,
It's a scare tactic, yeah.
right, like I'm seeing your
It's
name
like
over and over
it's a
again.
don't
I
fuck
just
with
want
me
to let you know
tactic.
that I know you.
why? Are
Yeah,
you,
Hector.
man.
why are people scared of their own names? That's hilarious to me.
It's not scare their own names. It's when a stranger is the one saying your name over and
Right.
over again.
That's like, okay, cool.
Heck-
You know my name, bro.
Hector Ultra V Man?
Thank
Hey,
you.
I'll be like, most of my shit's on the internet.
Right.
Oh,
Oh,
wait.
you have me on Facebook. Ooh.
Oh, you found me on Facebook.
Anyways, Rafa, continue.
So then Kate's like, "Hey man, I need to help out my best friend Hawkeye." And Hawkeye, he's all like, "Hey, I need to go stop Maya because this shit's getting out of hand." So he just up as the Ronin, goes fight Maya, and he's like doing all super ninja stuff, taking out the crew. And then they fight Maya, and then he's like, "Hey, who you think made me do the things that I did to your family?" And he's like, "It was your boss." And she's like, "No, no, you know, that's a lie. No, And then then she confronts her partner after she escapes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
After Kate saves
Mhm.
him, and then so you can tell there's something happening there. And then you find out that the person that put the hit on the Black Widow hit on Hawkeye is Kate Bishop's mom.
Yeah.
And then the last thing you see as the episode closes out is a screenshot, almost like a still frame
Of a
of
picture?
Kate Bishop's mom and Kingpin standing next to each other. And this is the thing that I want to confirm with you guys. I'm pretty sure that's the Kingpin from the Daredevil TV show,
That's exactly who that is,
Yeah.
Rafa. That's why it's such big news.
which is awesome. That's
Yeah.
so
That's
fucking
that's
great.
exact. And then going into
And
Spider, well, like yes, but just
and-
yes.
Yeah, and that right there, it gets even more confirmed by what happens in No Way Home. I feel like.
Well, it's confirmed because you can see his fucking face. It's him.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like that's Vincent D'Onofrio.
Oh,
I know,
okay.
but like it adds more to it. Like it's more solidified.
That's why I was saying like that's the alley oop to the dunk because
Yeah.
it's like they literally they were kind of teasing it the whole time and when we first started talking about Hawkeye, like we spoke about how the tracksuits are directly involved with Kingpin. Obviously, now we know that for those who like aren't initiated with the comics. Even the storyline that this is based off of, I think the tracksuits and Kingpin are like heavily involved.
Mhm.
So like it was only inevitable that we were going to see Kingpin, but it still didn't it didn't prepare me to like see him. I'm just so excited that they're finally bringing the Netflix shows into the MCU canon, even though it was like pseudo canon, kind of. They like the Daredevil shows were making reference to the MCU, but the MCU didn't say shit about them.
Yeah, because they suck.
Daredevil's phenomenal. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
No, it is, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, those shows are not good.
Well, I mean, like when they're fighting aliens, what the hell's like a blind lawyer gonna do?
The same thing he did. He saved Spider-Man's life. All right, well, anyway, we'll talk about it later. But no, yeah. So far, I like the show. I don't know where it's gonna go from here. Because there's only one episode left. That's an hour, really.
Yeah.
They just put out the Kingpin, so it's either gonna end in a fat ass cliffhanger that's gonna lead to something else, or because I mean, the Kingpin is not gonna be defeated in the next episode. Like that's just not gonna happen.
I hope he's just in it.
If anything, he might not show up again. They'll take down Norma Bates, and like that's where this show's gonna end. You know what I'm saying?
Norma Bates.
That's who she was.
Yeah, that's her.
Kate Bishop's mom.
They'll take out the Conjuring woman. So I mean. Yeah, it's definitely gonna leave off in a cliffhanger. I don't know if we're gonna get any more fun little fan service-y stuff. Like I don't know, I don't see Daredevil showing up. I really don't see Fisk showing up anymore. You know, he's kind of like, for all intents and purposes, I know that's gonna sound, but he's like Thanos right now, where he's just kind of in the background. How he popped up in Guardians, he popped up over here. So I think that's what we're gonna see now until we get the Daredevil face off, or even the Spider-Man face off with Kingpin. Yeah, I don't know. But Norma going to jail, or is she gonna die? One of the
going to prison.
Well, I feel like at the end, in like this next upcoming episode, it's probably gonna be something like them teasing like the Echo TV show that's gonna be coming out soon with Maya. And then probably some kind of like acknowledgement of like Hawkeye saying, yeah, you like should be the next Hawkeye to Kate Bishop. It's gonna be something along those lines, where it's just gonna be like, it's gonna end with a cliffhanger where it's like, okay, cool, maybe it's time to actually start your training or something. Like she's gonna get the acknowledgement from Clint, and then just kind of move forward from there. But I mean, yeah, I will say, I think I view, well, okay, as of right now, we haven't seen the last episode, but as of right now, I kind of view this show as a little bit less, or a little disappointing because of how little their episodes are. Like I wanted more, and I want like more world building on it, and I know for a fact that it's gonna like end off where it's like, okay, I really want more, and it's kind of shitty on that end, because like every other show got like what 12 to 13 episodes.
No, Wanda was 9,
like 8.
Winter Soldier was 6, Loki was like 6, 7.
Winter Soldier was 6?
Yeah,
I thought it was like 8.
No,
I thought Winter Soldier was like 7 or 8.
Hold on. I don't think any of these shows have gone past.
But I don't think any of them has been more than double digits. I think like 8 max.
Actually, no, I feel like 9 is probably a good number. But I mean, yeah, regardless, like I feel like this one deserved more episodes.
Yeah, it was 6.
The pacing was like extremely slow compared to the other ones.
I like it.
You are insane.
Loki was 6 too. Most of these shows are 6.
Right, but like you're telling me that the pacing on this one is as good,
I really like this pacing,
or the same to the other ones. Like I feel like this one is way too slow to like build.
Well, it's a different
Hawkeye character.
It's a different
type of story, though.
And so for me, it's a smaller story. Like it's a way more centralized story. It's not Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is worldwide. It's not Loki, which is multidimensional. It's not WandaVision, which was localized but had gigantic, mega huge implications to the multiverse and all this magic shit. It's a more condensed short story. So the pacing, for me, I don't have a problem with it.
It's perfect.
Because
I just have a problem because it's an origin story technically for Kate Bishop.
Yeah, but
Why is that a problem though?
I like that because it's not a here's Black Widow the movie. You know, like it's not a origin story in the sense that here's a whole movie dedicated to this character. It's an origin story in the sense that we're getting Hawkeye and she's thrown into this world already. We're not like, yeah, we got how she grew up and whatever, but it's not like here she is by herself, like Shang-Chi. You know what I'm saying? Like he was by himself doing a Shang-Chi shit. You know, over there minding his own goddamn business, and it really didn't have anything to do with the rest of the world. Whereas Kate Bishop is smack dab in the middle of where we, the audience, want to be. You know, I love Shang-Chi, and his movie was dope as fuck, but ultimately he was doing a side quest to the main MCU, and Kate Bishop kind of got thrown into the main mix because of Hawkeye, because of Kingpin. So I like that in that sense.
Yes, sir.
But I completely, I
feel
completely
like,
see your point, and I respect. I mean, yeah, the pacing is a little weird. Yeah.
I feel like, and I don't think what Hector, and I don't think what Hector's saying is a bad thing. Like, he's literally just saying he wants more. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoyed it. This might be it's as far as the ones that, like, all the content that we've got. This is up there for me. Like, I enjoy this. I enjoy this a lot. Like, I really enjoy this smaller, more intimate, more like realistic, grounded version of what we're getting with everything. This concise story. It's building the world of the underground New York syndicate, which is very heavy in the MCU with Kingpin. Like, he's the boss. Like, he's the guy.
Yeah.
And like, we're kind of we got that with the Netflix shows. But not a lot of people probably didn't see the Netflix shows. Now they're kind of like canonizing. Well, I'm saying in the terms, they're canonizing just the character of Kingpin and everything that comes with that.
Canonize the Punisher. That's what I want. That's the only one I want.
Well, John Bernthal, bring him over.
Yep.
John Bernthal he said that, like, if they bring him in, he doesn't want no like fake ass. All terms and purposes, just like, lack of a better term, pussy ass version.
No, yeah,
like a Disney ass version.
I want fucking
like he wants what they did with the Punisher and Netflix, and I'm off. And like that's all I want too. Like,
Deadpool
I agree with
better
that.
Be the exact same way. I swear.
They're not gonna change Deadpool. They can't.
Well, Kevin Feige straight up said, Kevin Feige straight up said they're not touching. They're not the Deadpool. That's their baby. They're not gonna do nothing.
I'm gonna say if they're gonna do that for Deadpool, I'm pretty positive they can do that for Punisher. Like,
and
they'll just make the exception.
Well,
at this
Feige
point in the game,
close. Hey, you know Feige has been in it since like the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans.
Yeah,
that's crazy to me.
He's been in it since the beginning.
But since Feige and those, Marvel is so, like, they're so attuned to their audience, I think they know that if they switch up Punisher and Deadpool, people are gonna be fucking pissed off.
I also think that Daredevil's gonna be a little grittier too, like a little darker, and I'm okay with that.
The entire, we'll talk about actually we can just go into Spider-Man.
Okay, if we're gonna go into Spider-Man, I have one last thing to say about Hawkeye.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the last thing to Hawkeye, to kind of add on to why I felt the way I feel, is because there's no confirmation that there's a second season. So this is literally all we get. So like that's why I'm kind of a little disappointed with it. It's like, I know for a fact it's gonna like end on an open ending, not closed ending. It's gonna be like super vague, or it's gonna build up other shows.
Yeah.
But the fact that that's the wrap up for Hawkeye, because from like more than likely he's gonna be becoming and having less and less of a role in the movies to come. Like, he's not gonna be the Hawkeye that we know anymore, because one, you saw he's getting old, he's beat up, he's I think deaf in 1 year. So it's just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's on the way out. Yeah. Well, we'll see. I'm curious. I'm curious to see where Hawkeye's story goes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll take more of a mentor
role.
What if
he dies on the next episode? That'd be wild as fuck.
That'd be bonkers as fuck.
He has to train Kate Bishop.
Does he?
Not really. She's already like she's an Olympic marksman, already on par with him.
She's currently.
Unless they put her in the Young Avengers or whatever.
Yeah,
and that's how she learns her training. Yeah, you're right.
See, so Hawkeye technically can die. And you know what? It's sort of, kind of, definitely setting it up. If he does that, I wouldn't be surprised, because the way the story is going. Like, he's already estranged from his family.
What about Christmas with his kids?
That's the whole point. But because it is a Christmas show, they're not gonna kill him.
Yeah,
some Christmas miracle. He's gonna come home, or he's probably gonna hang up his arrows.
Dude, he's hung up his arrows like 5 times already.
You know,
he definitely retired like 8 times.
It's gonna be the following day, and then there's gonna be a whole parade going on, and then he's gonna be like, "I need help." And there's like Turbo Man comes in from.
Great.
Hey, you're fucking dumb. Anyway.
All right, we're gonna talk about Spider-Man. I got it. I got it.
Intro it as. Go ahead.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, let's talk about some Spider-Man. Hey, Hawkeye's cool. Whatever. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Talk about the big one this week. Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, spoiler. Spoiler, because spoiler. Okay, I said it. I don't want to hear nobody in the comments saying, I said it like 95 times.
You said that, they're gonna say it now. But.
Also, to be fair, it's kind of hard to talk about this movie without spoilers.
I can tell you right now.
Because there's so much that happens that it's just so hard to not just to not talk about what we saw.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about it. We're not gonna give a recap of the fucking movie because it's 2.5 hours long. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
But I will say this. Let me open up with this. I love this movie.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next week on the. I'm just kidding.
Play the outro song, guys.
Hey. No. Okay. No. Okay. Spider-Man: No Way Home, the most anticipated MCU film since Endgame. I think it's fair to say. Now, granted, there's only been like 3 movies since Endgame, so whatever. And one of them was already Spider-Man. But anyway, wow, this movie was fucking phenomenal. What we got here and why I liked this so much was we have equal parts fan service done correctly with effectively a Spider-Man origin story 4 films into Spider-Man's like appearance in the MCU. 4 or 5.
Way more than 4. Way more than 4.
No, it was 5.
Of his movies.
It was 5. It was 5 in the MCU.
2 Spider-Man movies: Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame.
5. That's 5. Yeah.
Did you say 5?
I said 4, but 5 works as well.
Ass boy. Got his ass. Go ahead.
So on his 6th appearance, and he's been around for about 5 years now in the MCU, something like that. Whatever, since Civil War.
More than, yeah.
And 5 years in, we're getting an origin story. Because at the end of this movie, he became the Peter Parker, the Spider-Man that most people know already. You know what I'm saying? He's established.
Spider-Man.
Exactly. He's established. He's not like the traditional story. He's not a part of the Avengers. You know, he's in New York. He's just New York's like icon. No one knows who he is. He has that shitty apartment. You know, like that Spider-Man finally came out. And it's so crazy to, 6 years or whatever the fuck into it, he's finally the adult Spider-Man. I thought it was great. Fan service aside, I
didn't think about that. That's crazy.
Dude, that's the first thing about that.
Because I saw the classic costume, I was like, that's fucking dope. But I didn't put together where it's like, oh yeah, he's an adult now because he's out of high school. He's in college now.
Yeah.
The thing about this movie, is like not only is it a sequel, but it is his origin story, because the Spider-Man that we got from the MCU, he was a child and everything. The one thing that kind of like is in the identity of Spider-Man is loss, right? And this sense that famous line of "with great power comes great responsibility." That's something that is actually very true to his character, and we haven't seen him have to do anything like that just yet. Shit kind of happens to him.
Well, Tony Stark, John's right. Yeah, the loss, the Uncle Ben's death, and all that has always been an iconic.
Tony Stark, yes. Tony Stark. Yeah, so, like Tony Stark, yes, because that was a mentor and like a figure.
That was his dad.
Not like this. Yeah, but not like this. This is different.
No. So we're talking about spoiler. Here we go. I'm saying it again because we're talking about it now, the nitty gritty. So in this movie, Aunt May dies. And boy, does she die in like the craziest sequence in the entire movie.
Yeah.
Slash. She did it to her fucking self, dumbass Aunt May. But anyway, we'll talk about it. So Aunt May dies, and we finally get the whole Peter, holding aunt or uncle in his hands, and it's like, yo, this moment right here just threw me into adulthood and just threw me into the realness of the situation that I'm in. Tony Stark dying, John's right. That's still Iron Man. It was a mentor, was a father figure, but at the end of the day, that's still larger than life Tony Stark. And even post death, he's still around, with the glasses and all the technology. So his presence is still felt. Aunt May dying, on the other hand, is very, very different. It hits closer to home. That's, he's been with her forever. That's his mom for all intents and purposes. So, and the fact that on her death floor, can't say deathbed, but on her death floor, she was still preaching that whole, hey, you have to do the right thing even if stuff like this happens to you. That is such a big moment. And I felt like it was done better than it was in the last 2 Spider-Mans, and it wasn't as corny. Because if you're a Spider-Man fan and you've seen all the other movies, this scene, you're like, oh, here we go again. They finally did it, but they did it in a different way because it almost looked like she was gonna live. You know what I'm saying?
No, I thought she was gonna die the whole time. I'm like, the way she got, I'm like, nope, ain't no way, she dead as fuck. Yeah. But then like hearing her speak and like
that's
that,
a whole lot of cat.
And the way that she was like rushing, no, dude, no, because you can see it. Like they try to play it with the way they're talking, but if you really, and this is a testament to, I think her name is Marissa Tomei, who's the actress.
Yeah, sure.
Phenomenal. I think it's Marissa Tomei.
She's dead now. It doesn't matter.
You know what's funny? She actually put on like, I think she had an interview or something, or like on Twitter. This could be like fake. I don't think it is though. She said that the MCU fans don't give a shit that she's in the movies.
That's lie. Not true. That's a lie.
I loved her in the movies.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, they could care less because of like all the other people that are in the movies, and and it's funny to find out that she died in this, and I'm just like, maybe she said that out of anger that she's no longer in the movies.
Yeah. I think she was kind of saying it to like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then when we lose her,
like, oh,
but like,
no.
the way she's talking, because like as she's saying what she's saying, like, let's get out of here and find, like, you can hear it in her voice, like she's shaky with adrenaline.
Well, yeah, she just got hit with a glider.
But that's what I'm saying. Like they're trying to tell you that she's not gonna die with the words, but if you listen to how she's saying them, like she's on her way out. Like she doesn't realize that she got hit. The adrenaline's rushing. Like that's very, very good acting. Like I praise this movie because Tom Holland's phenomenal. We saw him like in Endgame kind of do it.
Tom Holland is by far the best actor in the entire MCU. I don't give a shit what anybody else, what other actors you got. He has the most range out of any actor in the MCU. Rafa, name me one person, because that woke you up. Name me one person in the MCU. I've been looking. Your camera's on, buddy.
Rafa, I would say the only other person could be Robert Downey Jr. That's the only other person.
Sorry, dead. In the MCU currently, nobody. And,
William
That's
Dafoe.
not what you asked, bitch.
Yeah, William Dafoe.
No. Tom Holland's range is way more
phenomenal
than Robert Downey Jr.
That's just true. That what you're saying is true. I would say they're on. I would say what I'm saying is that they're on par. Like
error.
Nah.
Robert Downey Jr. was the best actor in the MCU. Tom Holland now is up there. I'm saying they're on par. I'm saying they're on par.
Ain't no par. One's dead. Sorry, John.
You're being fucking stupid.
Get over it. He's dead.
The best one is the Hulk when he was mad and
when he was mad.
Ragnarok. Remember Ragnarok when he was mad.
Oh, you remember when the Hulk was mad? Rafa, that's his whole story.
Movie.
Hey, yo, check me, baby.
No, okay. All right, I'm obviously being like exaggerative, right? I'm exaggerating. But no, Tom Holland's acting is so fucking phenomenal.
He's really good.
And like he brings this like levity to every situation, because that man can cry on command like a motherfucker, and you feel it every single time.
He looked really hurt. Like when Aunt May passed away and he was sitting on that roof.
Yeah.
He legit like he actually lost a family member.
Oh yeah, that scene where where MJ and Ned go and hug him. I was like, bro, that shit hurt me. I was like, damn.
Yeah, that shit. But so that's another testament to this movie. Like the acting is phenomenal, and we can't talk about the acting without bringing in Willem Dafoe.
Without the actors, baby.
Because
this man stole the spotlight from everyone.
He did it again, baby. He did it again, baby.
So another thing that I want to say was, because we got a part origin story and to the fan service. This movie righted the wrongs and kind of like recaptured the magic of the original Spider-Mans, and even brought magic that the Amazing Spider-Man tried to do and couldn't, because it told these villains' characters with the source material that was given, so they're established already, but it flipped them and changed them into the like most pronounced, most like human versions of themselves. Because back in the day when the Sam Raimi trilogy was going on, Doc Ock was the most human villain we had. At that point, there was no real, like, these villains were just superpowered crazy maniacs. I'm going to blow up stuff and I'm angry. That was Green Goblin's story. Yes, the whole mental psyche, two personality thing was happening, but it wasn't as, you didn't feel it like you did in No Way Home. Because you didn't really see him struggle. He kind of like looked in the mirror and said, what the fuck is that? Oh, you're right. Let's go kill some people, you know?
Yeah, he's like, hey, this is Spider-Man's fault. He said, you right?
Yeah, he was scared, but he's like, you know what? Voice in my head, you got a point. But in this movie, it was a real conflict. And And then when Doc Ock, he continued that human, like, hey, there's voices in my head, shit, these claws, these tentacles are talking to me, I'm losing my goddamn mind. So like they brought back those characters and they kind of gave them the closure that we needed that wasn't given to us 10 whatever plus years ago. Such a fucking just a huge undertaking, and it was done so well.
This was a 10 out of 10 or whatever. Like, they give the scores like in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Like,
everybody's putting up a 10.
It's
exactly. Because
I remember. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say because like what Alex is saying is like we got an origin story for Spider-Man, which I didn't expect at all. Like I thought like this version of Spider-Man was already set. Like he was gonna follow Tony Stark's lead, stuff like that. Like didn't think they were gonna do the whole losing a family member into the more traditional Spider-Man. I didn't expect that at all. I didn't think they were gonna go down that path.
Yeah.
And they did. And on top of that, they wrapped up 5 movies.
Yep.
Yeah.
So which is fucking insane, and on top of that, they gave us, in a sense, reason to care for these villains that we kind of didn't really care about anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And Willem Dafoe is amazing. He was amazing back then in the first one.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of the guy, but Doc Ock, of course, he's
Alfred Molina.
Right. He was one of the favorites. He was amazing in this movie too. Like he was awesome. He was menacing and funny at the same time. It was great. And then Jamie Foxx got to a second chance to be Electro, so that was pretty cool.
I liked him. I
actually liked him in this movie a lot. Yeah,
I actually really liked him in this movie.
Because in the original Amazing Spider-Man 2, he was this nerdy like.
And they brought that up in the movie too. Like it was like his look changed or whatever. So like it's really crazy how this movie was able to handle so many things. It's like it's doing a juggling act throughout the whole movie, and it succeeded.
Yeah.
One after
I was literally gonna say that because remember when Spider-Man 3 rolled around and how difficult it was for them to just do Venom, Sandman, and the New Goblin, or I guess like the Hobgoblin with James Franco. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was only 3. That's only 3 and a subplot or whatever. Yeah. Each villain has their own particular subplot, ideas, like feelings. Spider-Man's going through his own thing. Then, spoiler again, 2 other Spider-Men show up, and their years have passed, and how their movies have has affected them, and how they're teaching this new Spider. Like, this movie is the shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's not only a celebration of what came before, but just a celebration of what makes Spider-Man so special. Like, it literally celebrates each one for their particular, like, why they were so special when they came out, and having them interact with each other and paying so close attention to their own source material and having them be themselves. Like, I didn't particularly like the Amazing Spider-Man when they came out, but damn, I loved Andrew Garfield in this movie.
Yeah, he was great. Like, it was a great.
He was so good, and it kind of makes me sad because it's like he was a really good Spider-Man. I didn't think he was the best Peter Parker, and like I stand by that because they were kind of playing the cool hipster or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, he really wasn't.
As a Spider-Man, he was a damn good Spider-Man.
He was the best Spider-Man. As Spider-Man, when it comes to the fight scenes, the fact that the way he like fought, which is how he actually crawled on the enemy's bodies and shit, like as the Spider-Man,
you're out of your mind.
Yes.
You're out of your mind.
That is literally. It's not even a hot take. That is literally the take that most fans do.
I don't care what the internet has to say, Hector.
I'm gonna take more than 2 of these vitamins. I'm done.
Essentially, the take is the best Peter Parker is Tobey Maguire. The best Spider-Man is Andrew Garfield, and the best overall Spider-Man is Tom Holland.
Actually,
so the best Spider-Man's fucking Tom Holland. What are you fucking talking about?
Tom Holland
overall, as in the balancing of both Spider-Man and Peter Parker.
Here's the thing. That's fine. Absolutely fine. That's fine.
I agree with that though.
You can have. I
agree with that.
I know, and the best everything is Tom Holland. Like he shit on everybody.
That's what I'm saying. The best overall is Tom Holland. But if you're just taking Spider-Man, like his action scenes, is the way they fight, the way he like uses his web. It's Tom Holland. Andrew Garfield.
Nope.
Go back to those movies and actually watch just
Tobey
the fight scenes.
Maguire, baby.
No. Tobey Maguire was not a good Spider. Like
he did
Spider-Man.
web balls.
I recommend you watch the the fight with Doc Ock again. Those couple fights.
Yep.
That shit was Spider-Man all the way.
No, and I'm saying they literally like pull out all the stops for him to like just solidify. Like, hey, this is your Spider-Man going forward. Tobey Maguire, he was cool, doesn't exist anymore. Andrew Garfield, that was cool, doesn't exist anymore. Like this is Tom Holland's it. No, because like essentially what this movie represented was like, hey, we're paying homage to the people who came in the past. However, don't worry about them anymore.
They essentially like deaded it. They like deaded. It's like that whole debate of who's the best. It's like that's cool.
They passed
that Spider-Man.
It's not even passing the torch. It's like
it is passing the torch.
No, because it's like they were saying the debate of like, you know, like what I just said, Andrew Garfield being the best Spider-Man and Tobey Maguire being the best Peter Parker.
There was no debate.
There was.
No.
And then they essentially just said, hey, moving forward, it's just Tom Holland. That's the only person you got to think about. And then I'm okay with that.
He passed down the torch, dude. What are you talking about?
The torch.
Yes,
just saying,
literally passing the torch.
It is what it is.
It is passing the torch.
The OG actors literally came here, and the only thing they didn't do was hand him a physical torch, but they did everything.
They literally were like, hey.
I'm
literally said, hey.
The way they essentially
said, hey,
like,
you're going through your origin story right now. That's literally what they said.
More I don't give a fuck. The way they kind of like gave more like time for Andrew Garfield to like say shit and like just be his like quirky self, but then they also like dialed it down because in the movies when he was in the Amazing Spider-Man, it was like a little overdone.
Well, he was happy.
I like that. Yeah, he was actually happy. Also, the fact that like they showed that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, they're like two sides of the spectrum when it comes to like Spider-Man, where like you could be like a good hero, and like, you know, learn from your mistakes, which was Tobey, and then you can go down the dark side of like, you know, just like being like fed up with how shit the world is and how Andrew Garfield like even said he's like, I got vengeful, I got rageful, like I stopped pulling my punches. I was sick as fuck.
When he said that, I was like, man, if that was your Amazing Spider-Man 3, that would have been a great movie. Like the Batman Spider-Man, you know, when he's just like lost his fucking mind. That would have been cool. Bat Spider.
Well, there's like this really cool thing in the comics where like it was a story with Kingpin where he had actually hurt Aunt May because they were trying to kill Spidey, but it was like a bullet or something like that. Like he hired like assassination to kill Peter Parker because he knew who he was.
Yeah.
Spidey took out a Glock 9.
And they tried to kill him, and instead they ended up hurting Aunt May, and so they rushed Aunt May to the hospital, and she was in like critical condition. And Peter Parker went to the prison that Kingpin was at, and essentially
he beat the dog shit out of him.
He beat the brakes off
in front of all the prisoners. I remember. I read that one.
He got to the point where he took off his mask and said, you know, Spider-Man isn't going to continue this fight. Peter Parker is. And he put his hand, because, you know, he has like, you know, web coming out of his wrist. He put his hand in Kingpin's mouth. He's like, if I wanted to, I could infinitely send spiderwebs into your body and suffocate you from the inside out. He's crazy. Like, just remember this. Hold on to every minute of your life from here on out, because if Aunt May dies, you're going to die. Like, I'm going to take out all the frustration and anger on you.
That's awesome. Give me that story.
Yeah, I remember that. So it's like, I read that one.
Spider-Man can get fucking mad dark. So, like, I mean, you know, hey, and that just kind of just reminded me of like, oh shit, like Andrew Garfield's that dark Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's cool. I mean, I liked it.
So then another thing, when we were talking, I kind of realized, like, I was thinking, I'm like, why the fuck would they ever go back and close those two movie loops? You know, like those, go back and ever pay homage. I realized why they did it. And it's because this is the easiest, most like hand-holdy way to show a cinema audience the concept of a multiverse.
Yeah.
It is the most
it's perfect.
And you know what? That's just a testament to how smart these people are, because they're like, hey man, we're about to go into multiverses. People are going to be really confused if there are 3 Doctor Strange walking around, which is what's going to happen in the, you know, whatever the next one. Mm-hmm. So what is a good way we can explain that in a way that people get it? Hey, we have 2 other Spider-Man universes that kind of shut down.
Yeah.
Bring them in, and people already know, hey, that's 1, that's 2. They're not related to this 3rd one, but with multiverses, we can kind of explain
it. They're the same but different in their own way.
And then now it's like
they're trying to get people used to it.
Exactly. And you know, Infinity War kind of started it, but they kind of eased in with time. Right? It wasn't multiverses per se, but once we got the concept of time and the fact that you can go back and change things and there's different timelines, then, you know, Loki came in and started talking about multiverses. Like, they've been easing us into it.
Right. They're doing a phenomenal job.
And now that this movie came in, you know, it's like, oh, that's what a multiverse really is.
It's like they've been talking about it in concept, even in Far From Home. They brought up the idea of a multiverse, and they kind of like faked you out with the whole thing of like Mysterio is a hero from this other time. So they've been like slowly talking about it, and then like here's the perfect example of what that is, and it's so good. I cannot wait to see what happened. I cannot wait for Doctor Strange, because well, technically that should be a fucking topic in its own right. That trailer, at the end of the movie, but the fact that in that trailer they show the supreme like dark Doctor Strange, that's from What If.
Called it.
Maybe
it's actually not.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe.
From What If.
It is from What If. That's the dark one.
It's not. It's not the What If Doctor Strange, but it is a dark Doctor Strange.
I didn't say it was like actually that one, but like the dark version that they showed in What If, like that we're getting that version.
However, people are saying that it could be different in the sense that like it's not the person, or it's not the Doctor Strange who became dark for love, gained power for love. It could be like an
he
actual
probably just
dark
did it for
entity.
power.
Which is like the crazy part.
Also, by the way, they also mentioned Miles Morales in there, which is pretty funny.
Oh yeah, maybe somewhere there's a black Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then Andrew Garfield's like,
obviously that's a reference. That's a reference to Logic's song "Black Spider-Man," the album. Everybody, you guys are stupid.
No, but and a quick references while we wrap this up. So when we saw Venom 2. And we saw the stinger at the end of Venom 2.
Hilarious.
We were like, "Oh shit, we're gonna get Tom Hardy and fucking, Tom Holland. The Toms are gonna fight. It's gonna be crazy." Fast forward to this movie, he didn't. No Venom showed up.
The mid-credit scene.
Then there's a mid-credit scene, and you see Tom Hardy at the bar. He's just not understanding what the fuck is happening with the multiverses.
That made me laugh so hard.
And because he's like the audience, like he's like, "Yo, like what the fuck is a multi?" They fixed the problem. His ass gets sent right back. So no, that Venom here.
Well,
but
we don't know that for sure.
Well, we do because he's out. But they left a piece of the symbiote, a symbiote. Like they said in the first movie.
Like funny about I was telling this to Alex yesterday is that like while the movie was playing out, I kind of was keeping like a track of like who was showing up. Okay, the Lizard's here. Here's Electro. Here's Doc Ock.
Yeah.
And I was waiting like, where the fuck is Venom? Venom is not showing up. I thought like when we watched the trailer, I thought that he was gonna get the suit, right? Because in the trailer you see Spider-Man like in a black suit, but it turned out to be like that makeshift suit that he had on.
It was just inside out suit.
Which is fucking awesome.
Reversed. I thought that was hilarious.
So then when it finally came out with that mid credit scene, and we see that Tom Hardy got sent back or whatever, like I found that really funny, but at the same time, it's really smart of them because now Sony can do whatever they want with Venom, and Marvel's getting their version of Venom because some of the symbiote was left behind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in a sense like it's the same character, but it kind of got separated.
I want that nasty ass, evil ass Venom, like that. Spider-Man can't see this Venom. I want that Venom.
He can't sense him.
And I can't wait. And he's gonna be Veneno because that dude was in Latin America. So we're gonna get a Hispanic ass Venom coming out. And way.
Well, do you guys know how Tom Hardy got there or how Venom got there?
Yeah, that's legit. I was about to bring that up right now.
Go ahead.
They were saying that because Venom, like as you guys remember, Venom when he was talking to Tom Hardy, was like, "Hey man, all symbiotes have thousands of memories, and we've been all through the cosmos or whatever."
Yeah.
So they're saying that somehow this Venom is connected to
that somehow they are.
That Venom
they are
from
with Sam Raimi's.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like that's how they got brought over.
That was the whole thing at the end of the whole end credit scene at the end of
Venom 2.
What the fuck? Yeah, Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. When he sees Spider-Man when he gets transferred back through Doctor Strange's spell, and he sees Peter, and he's like, "That guy, I know that guy." It's because, isn't that because the previous versions of Spider-Man?
That's not it. No. So the reason why he's Venom and Tom Hardy appeared is because in that scene that you're talking about, where he's laying on the bed, and Venom is about to show Tom Hardy, or Yeah. It's about to show Tom Hardy like all his memories. He's like, look, your tiny brain cannot understand these 8 billion universe cosmos wide all this information that we have. But he was about to tell them, like, show him everything that symbiotes
and then
are
the
connected
Doctor
and
Strange
everything.
spell happened.
However, the thing is, Venom himself, the symbiote says, we are connected through the multiverse. So the Venom suit in the Sam Raimi costume knew that Tobey Maguire, Peter Parker was Spider-Man.
I know, yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah,
that doesn't explain one thing, because they know their own Peter Parker. Because Alfred Molina,
remember,
they didn't know Tom Holland. Like, who the fuck is this guy?
No, but I'm saying no. The whole point is they knew who a Peter Parker was Spider-Man. Remember the spell that at the end, the one that affected everything was anyone who knows that I'm from Spider-Man. No, not even from before. Anybody who knows that I'm Spider-Man, it gets teleported there. Granted, the little bad side to it is a lot of people knew who Peter Parker or who Spider-Man was in like the Amazing Spider-Man, because it's like some of the people at like Oscorp knew who he was Spider-Man, like Gwen Stacy, all these other people who knew he was Spider-Man that hadn't died. Yeah. But like a lot of people actually knew who they were, but like it was just certain people got plucked into this universe.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the way that they got around that is that Doctor Strange said that he was able to stop the multiverse from opening up. That only some of them got through. That's what he said.
It just so happened to be the bad guys.
Yeah.
So at the end, man, when they open up, the stars were opening up, and you could see all the villains.
Did you see Rhino?
Rhino.
He was in the middle of the fucking
one,
screen. Yeah.
It was Rhino. Scorpion was there.
Yeah.
Dude, that was badass. Mm-hmm. It was like the comic. It was the comic accurate Rhino. Like you just saw his silhouette with the horn. I was like,
So now I'm confused a little bit, because here's the thing where because we have this is real quick in closing. We have Morbius coming out, right?
Yeah, Mobius.
So Mobius, whatever the fuck. A couple things I want to say here. In that trailer, so Mobius is Sony. He's in the Venom universe because he said by name, "I am Venom." There's a Spider-Man in the background of that, which look like the Sam Raimi one, but it could be Tom Holland's new suit. Either way, new classic suit. But
it could just be CG to kind of like turn people away,
right? But they wouldn't put it in there. Well, they would. But my thing is, like, if Venom got snapped back, Morbius knows obviously Spider-Man's in this universe, and there's no Spider-Man in Tom Holland's in Tom Hardy's Venom.
Tom Hardy's,
that we know.
Well, not that we know of. Yeah,
I feel like they would have mentioned it if at some point in the Venom movies, if there's a Spider-Man in New York.
Oh yeah.
Yes and no, because remember they're partnered up with Marvel. To make like the Tom Holland movies,
but
so it's like they would have.
The universes are different. They made it a point to send this dude back.
I mean, the second that Venom showed up in the MCU, he just saw Spider-Man on TV, and he's like, "Oh man, I gotta go get him." Like you didn't think he would have sensed them in his world, like their version of Spider-Man?
They'll probably find like a loophole as to why he wasn't mentioned.
So now this what I was getting at was like now
is he in Boston or some shit like that? Like
now
he's in San Francisco.
Now Mobius is now a bigger thing to this multiverse thing, because not only that, but Vulture is also in that movie.
Michael Keaton.
Yeah, they're setting up the Sinister Six movie.
But my thing is like Venom exists, not in this universe anymore. He gone. How the fuck, where does Mobius actually, where is he at? Is he in the MCU?
He's in the in-between, baby.
That's the big question with the trailers, because like you're right, like the Daily Bugle header and everything, and the picture that we see in the background, like any of the Spider-Man stuff that we see, that's Sam Raimi. But then, he references Venom, and then he references Vulture, everything. So it's like, He references everything. So it's like that's just one of those things where we kind of have to wait and see for Mobius, because like we really don't know. They might be doing like an inter-franchisional,
like a Shattered Dimensions thing where it actually didn't fix anything.
Like Sony's projects and Marvel's projects are kind of like they kind of merge together or some shit like that. Well, because it doesn't that happen in like the Infinity War comics or some shit like that. Like the Snap just kind of like
he fucked everything. He fucked everything up in the Infinity War.
So there might be more ramifications for this spell than just like people forgetting.
Well, I mean, are we all in agreement that they're gonna remember that he's Peter Parker? Like at some point, it's gonna come to like knowledge where like, hey, there's gonna be a scene where MJ is like, "You told me you were gonna come find me." You know what I mean? Like it's one of those like, "You promised you were gonna come like find me and talk to me. There's gonna be a scene like that again.
I think whatever
so
happens
at some point
in
they're gonna remember.
I think Doctor Strange, he's gonna get hit in the head really hard, and the spell's just gonna go away.
My thing was this, because it's like everybody forgets that it's Peter Parker, right?
Yeah.
But it's like they didn't forget Spider-Man, right? They just forgot that Peter Parker.
They just don't know his identity.
They just don't know his identity. So like Doctor Strange and everybody like still knows it's Spider-Man because like they still did shit with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They just don't know his name or whatever the fuck.
They don't know
and
his face.
and like wouldn't Mary Jane be like, oh, my boyfriend's Spider-Man?
No.
Technically?
No, because with her, she would just remember that Spider-Man saved her. Mm-hmm. But because that boyfriend stuff happened under Peter, that's gone.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, that's completely gone. Same thing with Ned.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're gonna remember at some point.
Yeah, same thing with Ned, yeah. I feel like there's some way to get around that.
I don't know. All I know is like I'm now looking forward to Morbius a little more. Not so much, even though I was looking forward to the movie. I just want to know where, because it's gonna shine a light on what exactly the state of the MCU is. Just because that character seems to be in the middle of everything, unless it takes place while they're here.
Maybe,
which could also be a thing.
Maybe,
so while
because
Spider-Man's
like
doing all this shit, you know what I'm saying? He could be running around doing Morbius stuff.
Yeah.
But wait, why would they call Spider-Man they were calling Spider-Man a murderer, and the reason why they were calling him murderer was because they think he killed Mysterio. That shit happens probably while No Way Home was happening.
It's not out of the realm of possibility that like it's not like the most current thing.
So
these movies have been playing around with time this whole
Tobey
time.
Maguire is gonna be in Morbius. Calling it now. Watch.
That'd be kind of cool though. I wouldn't be mad.
Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man against Tom Hardy's Venom confirmed.
I would watch that. Nah, I wouldn't watch that one. He's old.
I would.
I wouldn't.
They're
not gonna make a separate Spider-Man, for Tom Holland's it. Like they're not doing anything.
I want Tobey Maguire in the suit.
Here's the thing about Sony though. They technically can, because what this movie also did was establish 2 other Spider-Man that they can fuck around with if they really wanted to. They reestablished and brought them in.
Back, yeah.
Yeah. And
dude, imagine they bring Andrew Garfield.
Because they made it such a point to be like, hey, these guys are over here. They're not in the MCU story. They're over here. Venom is also over there. We also have some shit going on. Like, they can easily.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah.
I honestly, because you know what's hilarious? Because like DC, they kind of announced that they were going to do something like this. It's like, oh, we're going to have like 8 different Batman, and like some of these are going to be in the HBO, some of these are going to be in the Justice League. And I was like, you're fucking dumb. But like now that they established this in the MCU, I'm like, kind of want to see what that Spider-Man's doing over there. I think I'm salty. I think I'm just an asshole.
They're gonna do the Into the Spider-Verse live action.
I would be with that.
They already did it.
That'd be cool, but
They just did it. I saw it.
It just happened.
I just saw that.
No, with everybody, with Miles Morales, Spider-Man 20.
I don't think they're gonna step on toes like that, though.
I don't think they do all that.
They'll do that like eventually.
Yeah.
Like not right now. But I will say I don't think this is the last time we're gonna see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
Oh no, absolutely not.
I feel like there's gonna be some kind of like end game level event again, where like they have to bring him in. My guess is, and kind of like, well, I mean, if anybody has any closing thoughts, for sure, but like rolling into like the Doctor Strange trailer.
Yeah.
People are saying that the Doctor Strange trailer is going to start to build the pieces towards the multiverse ending. Nice. So it's like, you know how we just got the idea of the multiverse happening and all these things are like interconnecting.
Yeah.
That this Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness is going to start to build the pieces of, hey, don't get too attached to the multiverse because at some point it has to end.
Oh yeah, it has to.
Yeah.
Like the big thing is the biggest theory is that with Wanda's involvement in the movie, that she's gonna do like a reverse flip of, in House of M, she says, okay, no more mutants. Yeah. And that's how mutants stop existing on the Earth. She's gonna do the reverse of it, of saying, okay, mutants exist. Not even way more mutants exist on this Earth, or in this universe. And so that's how it's gonna begin to build the pieces of the X-Men being in the MCU and things like that. So it's like, and I'm all for it. Like if that's what they're actually doing, I'm so for it.
Dude, it went from 6 to midnight.
He got a boner. Come on.
I got it.
Dude, Rafa looks so confused.
Rafa look asleep.
All I know
I was like,
Rafa looks slumped.
The MCU is back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was never gone.
No, they
never
slipped
left.
a little bit.
They're little bumps.
Eternals,
Yeah.
they kind of slipped a little bit.
They-
But I'm telling
Oh, I didn't see that. So
what I meant by that was, what I meant by that was the hype is back because we were suffering from superhero like overload. There was a point there where I was like, actually right after Endgame, I was like, I don't need to see this for a little bit. It's been 10 years. I'm straight.
Yeah. Far From Home did not hit as hard.
Exactly, and I think the timing was too close to Endgame. But because COVID and everything that happened, we were able to take a break, and now it's like rehyped all the way because I said it then, I'm saying it again. I didn't think they can get to another Endgame level event. I just didn't think they could do it. I think this is the height of it, and from here we're gonna start tapering off, and we're just gonna get good movies here and there. But I don't think they can do it again. I'm wrong. I'm so wrong. I obviously don't know what the fuck they got going on because, this movie is the third highest grossing movie of all time. By the way.
Yeah. Did you? I put that in the thing.
It's a pandemic. Not highest grossing. I'm sorry, opening weekend. Not highest grossing.
It said that its opening day hit like $121.5 million.
In a pandemic.
In the Bando. The biggest one was they said since Endgame, which hit 157.5 million. Still didn't hit Endgame level, but damn, that's very close. That's
Number 2,
really,
baby.
really close.
Yeah, it's definitely the highest grossing Spider-Man movie of all time. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
yeah.
no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
So,
And we're not even done.
oh, we're not done.
As of recording, today's the last day of opening weekend, so.
Also, I'm gonna see it again. So there's that, and I know a lot of
I
people are
definitely
going to
gonna
see it again.
Yeah.
So, this,
They're gonna take my money.
this movie's gonna be one of those that just keep rolling money, like Endgame did, like Star Wars did, like Avatar did, where they just
I saw
making
Endgame
money.
a lot.
Yeah.
I saw Endgame a lot.
So, but the only unfortunate thing is that I have to wait longer for it to release because obviously the more money it's making at the theater, it's gonna take forever to come out. So
Didn't
Straight to Disney Plus, baby.
it's not. No Spider-Man movies are on Disney Plus.
none of them?
Really?
Nope.
Yeah.
Not one.
They're Sony properties, so they don't they're not
Oh, that's
particularly
pretty
on there.
whack.
The Sam Raimi's are on Peacock, which is a weird
Cool.
fucking place to put them at, but
That's
that's,
such a
where
I
they're
think
Strange
this
place.
will probably be the first like DVD or Blu-ray or whatever trilogy, digital trilogy thing that I'll buy.
I want that
Yeah.
4K.
Yeah, I got this is not important. All right. Well, thank you so much for listening to the Panel Pals. The Play and Panel Pals. Jesus.
Yeah, man.
Let us know down below what you think about Spider-Man No Way Home. Did you watch it? Did we spoil something for you? I
I
warned
hope you watched it when you
I
fucking
warned you. We obviously love it. We can sit here and talk about it fucking all day. What
been an hour.
implications,
Yeah.
what stories. We did our best to taper it down. We'll see you guys in a couple days for whatever podcast comes out. This schedule's a little weird this week, so bear with us, and then we'll be back to normal.
Yeah.
Happy holidays to you guys. It's obviously Christmas week. If you celebrate
That's why I
that,
wear my
happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all them shits. Happy holidays. So
Happy holidays.
we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Hey, wasn't it cool when they were talking about his web shooters?
God bless us,
Tobey
everyone.
Maguire's
Yeah,
web
that was really
shooters?
funny.